Hello there, and welcome aboard another episode of Rule the Waves 2 as Great Britain. The year is 1951, and we are rapidly closing in on the end of this game. Its official end date is 1955, although I may elect to extend into, I think 1970 is the ultimate end game cutoff date when the game says, nope, no more. So we will see. Once we get to 1955, I'll have a decision to make. Last I saw, we were getting close on our surface-to-surface missiles, SSMs, and I haven't really experienced missile warfare before in-game, so if we don't get to try that, I may elect to extend the game to at least one war with missile combat on both sides. Well, I don't know. We'll see. For now, we've got a game to play. So, let's see, where did we leave off? Last I saw, the Iron Duke was just about finished. We had a number of fancy new blunderbuss light cruisers under construction. Just laid those down. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what these can do, along with our other light cruisers. And we also have a fancy stack of new longbow class destroyers. Of course, the moment we get SSMs, they will be obsolete and requiring modernization, but we're going to worry about that when the time comes. For now, let's just keep on pushing forward and hope we can drive those tensions a little bit higher. Also, well, with the Iron Duke finishing up soon, we may start looking into some new carriers. Not entirely sure what we're going to do with that. What a decent air wing would be to carry along, so I don't know. Let's move right along for now, though. Hey! Praise for building destroyers. Fantastic. Prestige is 134. Carrier Yukon. Let's see. Woo! That is a much more serious carrier there. Rocking 101 aircraft. At a much larger size as well. 32,000 tons. 34 knots! Wow! How on earth do they do that? I have no idea how the AI is able to build such big carriers, because I certainly can't build them that efficiently. 34 knots. What? 5-inch autoloader? Well, there it is. Our destroyers are all obsolete. Unfortunately, they don't have the spare weight to do the upgrades. Although I'm kind of curious, what would it take to do that upgrade? 121 tons. Yeah. Nope. That ain't happening anytime soon. I'm kind of curious. So 13 up to 19. That is a pretty significant change there. But nope. Not really worth it. Not particularly worth it. Okay, also I do believe our last Iron Duke finished up, so we'll plunk that back into reserve. Let's see, foreign station cruisers are doing just fine. What should I spend the money on? Tensions are relatively high. And I suppose I could order a couple more blunderbusses. That money certainly would not go awry. I am also curious, though, what kind of carriers we can do. So if I were to just auto-design something, what would we get? I think we'll pass on that cursed name. Okay, and a 45,000 ton ship. That's a little bit much there. Let's see if we can rein this in a little bit. Drop the speed down to something more reasonable. Crank up the protection a little bit. AA looks good. We'll just auto-loader that right away. Wow, that's a huge step up. 58 to 80. That is pretty impressive. Unfortunately, we do not have the option to throw on missile launchers. So that's a bit disappointing, but oh well. Let's see, and we can drop down our armor belt because these things should not be getting shot at. I will step up the deck a little bit. Let's see how many planes we could fit on this thing now. Well, I could do 134 planes, just straight up. I don't know, 24 months, 5.25 million per, and only 134 planes. It doesn't seem like a sufficiently large step up over the previous designs. So, no, I don't think I'll do that. What about just seeing if we can modernize the unicorns? So if I was to take that, wow, that's not a lot of a change there. Okay. Slap that sucker up to diesel engines. Throw on some auto-loading. Wow, that's such a high AA factor. And a pretty solid anti-aircraft suite as well. But it is still a little bit overweight. How much would we have to go up by? Oh, not much. 24 months, 4.25 million per month. That's a little bit more reasonable. Still, only one new carrier? I don't think that's quite worth it. Certainly not right now. I think our money is better spent stacking up a few more light cruisers. Or maybe a heavy cruiser. Let's see if we can revisit this Spartiate class. Try throwing in some diesel engines. Well, can't quite auto-load the 5-inchers. Certainly not as they're currently set. I could ditch the SAM for that, but that doesn't seem like a good plan. Let's see, so if we auto-load that, we would have to ditch basically all of the aircraft. And that doesn't seem like a particularly good plan either. Yeah, I'm still not sold on this. And I like the aircraft capability. That is very important. But, how many guns would I have to drop? Huh, just one set? Wow. Suddenly that seems a little bit more reasonable. It still has more heavy A factor than some of my capital ships. And it's got SAMs, and it's got 2 aircraft, so it is still useful in combat. And it's rocking autoloaders for its secondaries, which is a pretty significant step up in terms of firepower against destroyers. I'm just not sure about that. Let's see. Well, we certainly could afford to build one. And that would be a nice little fix to what we to the Spartiate as it currently stands. This is a really tough decision. What do I spend my money on? I think these Ariadnes have me pretty well covered as far as major heavy cruisers go. As far as frontline units, these guys have just been doing such a good job. I don't see any particular concerns about them. In fact, I'm actually pretty happy that they've got the fully upgraded radar right now. Also nice to see the radar on the Juggernauts and the Humongulus. And they're starting to work their way through the Iron Dukes as well. Hopefully our destroyers start getting upgraded too. Carriers are looking pretty good. Certainly all the Arbalists have been upgraded, so that's good. Honestly, it's probably worth going up to reserve fleet on these other ships as well, just to get them upgraded. So we're going to reserve fleet those, spend a little bit more of our money, and actually start training up their crews as well. So we have a decent selection of escorts when the war breaks out, against whoever it may be. And then, let's see, anything else? Those guys are looking almighty fine. I think I'm just going to order another couple of blunderbusses, because that's ultimately my best, well, one more blunderbuss anyways, since that's about all I can afford. Alright, and then we do have some money left. I think I'm going to order additional corvettes. We'll do another 6 ASW corvettes. There we go. That seems like a pretty well-rounded effort. And you know what? Let's throw in a few submarines as well. Just because, why not? There we go. They have proven their worth before in fleet support. Hopefully they'll do it again. I'm always happy when Italy wants to fund my construction plans. That's good news. Oh, looks like USA has conducted a destroyer building program. Little Erickson, Benham, Perkins, and 2 carriers too. Okay. Well, nothing too special there. One of our minor allies in the Balkans threatened by a neighbor. That doesn't seem like a good plan. Prestige, tension. You know what? We want a war. Let's drive up those tensions. We're going to back our ally unconditionally. What's the worst that could happen? Oh, we got some unexpected advances in machinery development. So I have had a few questions about that. Unexpected advances. Normally the way the game does technological development is each turn you earn a certain number of research points in each category of research. So right here, we are currently researching in the fire control, anti-aircraft artillery, radar and electronics, etc. All these categories are earning a fairly hefty research point return in their particular categories. Once you have sufficient points in that particular category, then you develop and unlock whatever technology you're working on. And then it'll randomly decide what the next technology you're going to work on is. Those unexpected advances are bonuses for the turn, so you earn a larger bonus than normal, or you earn an extra bonus above and beyond what you normally would have researched for that turn. Just like unexpected setbacks are a smaller than normal earning on your research points for the turn in that particular category. Now, these can be fairly significant sometimes, and in other cases, it may be such a large setback that it changes what technology you're researching. But for the most part, they don't have that big of an effect overall on your research times. I mean, usually when you get unexpected advances and then you research a technology, it's usually because you were somewhat close to getting that technology already, and it just happened to save 1 or 2 turns worth of time in the research. Always nice when it happens, though, so I am certainly not going to complain. Except when we're getting unexpected advances in categories we have already completely maxed out in. That does get annoying after a while. So that most recent one was in a category that we have already long since maxed out our capabilities on. So nothing actually useful happening there. Okay, well, now that we've talked about that, we have more money. Well, in that case, let's order another blunderbuss. Sounds good to me. And anything else we can do? Anything else we should do? Maybe it is time to actually do that heavy cruiser. If tensions keep on going up, we're going to have the... Actually, you know what? No. We need to start actually standing up our ships for war. And that means all of our expenses are about to go up quite a bit. So we're going to active fleet those. We are going to... Here we go. We're going to active fleet... you know what? We're just going to active fleet the Ariadnes, because those are the ones that I really want in the fight. Despite the 8-inch autoloaders, I think the 10-inch guns have just that little bit extra performance. Or more appropriately, I just think the Ariadnes overall have that little extra edge. And then... I don't think it's quite time to start standing up the destroyers. They're already at a pretty decent experience level, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. And these other destroyers, wow, they are getting re-equipped very quickly with the new radars. That's nice. Hopefully they start getting the Garys as well. I don't want those fellows getting left behind. But yeah, overall, they're looking pretty good. Oh yeah, I also need to stand up my light cruisers. That was the other big thing. Dakars and Pandoras. Oof, that is expensive. But I think it'll work out in the end. Ooh, Italian carrier Veneto. Well armed, decent speed. Not enough aircraft. So yeah, they definitely could afford to trade a little bit of that speed for additional aircraft. Overall, a nice well-rounded carrier though. Anything else? France is laying down destroyers. Let's take a look at our aircraft development. Overall looking pretty good. Well, it's just a little bit longer until the Avro Whitley is ready. So I think it's a safe enough bet to start obsoleting the Bristol Botha. I don't even think it got into any real fights. But, oh well. Quite a few airplane designs never got to really show their mettle against their intended opponents. They were obsolete by the development of new and better planes. And that's just what happens. Okay. Hopefully this new Ever Whitley is pretty good. And it already has a medium torpedo payload, so that is absolutely fantastic. And then where do we go after this? We have a new fighter request in progress. Probably after that, we'll start looking into, maybe a new float plane scout? And it certainly is the shortest ranged and slowest aircraft that we have. But you know what? No, I think we're going to get a new dive bomber. Okay, new turn. It looks like a lot of nations are building destroyers now. We're on some destroyer building kick. France has a majority of their heavy ships in active status. I don't think they are just conducting annual maneuvers. It's France after all. That said, I don't have the money to mobilize all of our major ships in reserve. So, And if I do that, I then have to go through and re-mothball everything that we don't need. So let's give them a poke and see if they notice. Ooh, data on the new flying boat, Brewster Vinton. Nice long combat range and a decent top speed, too. Not bad. And we have new fighter prototypes. Let's see what these can do. Whoo, boy. Already I'm seeing big numbers here. Okay, so maximum speed and heck, cruising speed is most in favor of the Avro design. Range, on the other hand, is in favor of the Hawker design. Let's see. Firepower is equal, but I think the Hawker tends to be overall just that little bit better. A little bit more maneuverability, noticeably more toughness, and I think that's ultimately going to be our winner right there. It's not much slower, it's just a hair under, and that longer range I think is going to pay out in the long run. Being able to keep the cap up for a longer time, yeah, that is significant. Okay, I think we're going to take the new Hawker XF-85. We're going to start developing on that. Whew, sorry about that. A little bit of allergies kicking in there. Alrighty. It's time to order a new plane. I said we wanted a new dive bomber, so yeah, let's do that. Proposal for new aircraft. We want a dive bomber. And our priorities for this one? Let's see. The last one was looking a little bit short on the range. Actually, not really. It's a little bit shorter range than the torpedo bomber, but I think the biggest issue is the fact that it doesn't have enough heavy range. Well, actually, that is actually pretty good. 177 mile heavy range. It's quite solid. But I think we could push that out a little bit further, so it's a little bit better of a match for our torpedo bomber. So let's go with range number 1, bomb load number 2. All right, request is off. And let's see about... there were a number of ships finished up. You know, I don't actually know how well crew experience affects your ASW effectiveness. So you know what? We'll call this an experiment. We're going to leave these fellows in active fleet. Even though it is costing a little bit more money, we're going to take all of the modern ships and put them active. And maybe, if we're lucky, they might even get fitted with radar sets. I doubt the older ones will, but, you know, that's just too bad for them. And on that note, I think we'll also try reserve fleeting the... You know what? No. We're going to try reserve fleeting the Stour class. Give those a chance to... hang on. Red poles have mines. And they're cheaper, too. So you know what? We're going to reserve fleet those. Give those a chance to actually start working up and maybe get equipped with modern radar. Who knows? They might actually prove useful. Okay. Oh. Looks like somebody's laid down some illegal ships again. Gonna have to go through and fix those. Let's see. 4 corvettes commissioned. Hooray. Oh, an upheaval in Angola. Alright, I'm issuing an ultimatum. That ought to show those Frenchies who's boss. Actually, real quick review. They do have 1 battleship. They've got quite a few carriers. Not quite as many as America. But, yeah, that's a decent collection there. I do believe ours are better, given that our carrier tonnage is more than theirs. So I don't think things will go well for them. But if that gives them the courage to actually accept the fight, then all the better for us. Yeah, absolutely. Let's issue an ultimatum and demand that they back down. Okay, they completed the occupation of Angola. Ooh, plastic interior fittings. Not entirely sure why that's only a weight savings and not an improvement in damage control, given how relatively inflammable most plastics are. Or at least the compared to previous options for materials, plastics are relatively inflammable, which makes them pretty decent for use on ships, as opposed to wooden fittings. Ooh, new torpedo bomber Avro Whitley is ready for operation service. I don't see any problems with it. That's good. And France is quite annoyed at us. That is fine. And that was, what, Angola. Ooh. Yep, I don't like that. Let's see, what kind of ships do we have? France has a heavy cruiser and some light carriers in Southeast Asia. They've got some heavy cruisers in the Indian Ocean. And they've got some heavy cruisers over here as well. That said, I think if we're going to have to do anything, it would be kicking France out of the Antilles. If it does come to war. Let's see, Senegal, Middle Congo, yeah, not a whole lot of value there. Value 3, value 2. I think it could be worth something, but most of the valuable stuff is over here in Asia. Yeah. Alright, let's see. Do we have anything that we can start sending overseas so we can kick off a nice fast invasion? I mean, I suppose I could send the I-boats. I think I'm going to do that. We're going to grab the 2 I-boats And let's also grab some, what's a good appropriate selection? Let's go with the conquests. So this is very much a second line tasking. And actually, no. Those conquests are actually pretty good ships, all things considered. So we're going to grab the Proserpines. I want those conquests for anti-raider patrols. So we'll grab the Proserpines instead. And do we have any other capital ships we can send? And I suppose I could send the Inconsiderables, but that doesn't seem like a good plan. Let's try. Well, hang on. I need some destroyers first. Let's see. I think we're going to grab some... What's a good choice? Let's do the Wavenese. 2, 3. What else should we send? Those Wavenese are going to have to go active fleet. Okay. So those are all active. They're still selected. We also need some capital ships. You know what? Let's send the Camper Downs. Active fleet those. Let's also grab a few minesweepers, just in case. Active fleet. Yep. And let's send them overseas. And I want all of you in Southeast Asia. And that should provide pretty good cover for that theater of war. So those guys are heading over. I suppose we should also send a heavy cruiser, so yeah, let's do the Spartiate. Now we've got at least something with modern radar and fire control and all that other good stuff. And even a SAM launcher. Ooh. Okay. Next turn. Ooh. Socialist Party is doing well in opinion polls. I want to press for reduced armament expenditures. That's a bad plan. Well, I could suppress all socialist propaganda. That would indeed limit the impact on budget, if I remember correctly. Reminding the socialists that a strong navy is important, especially against those fascists. Or do nothing. Well, that's a bad plan. Nope. I will take the prestige hit, because we already have plenty of it. And let's just push right along. Ooh, unexpected advances in missile technology. Hooray! Bonus points. And still nothing. Let's see, how's our development going? 7 more turns till our dive bomber choices get revealed. And we still have time before our new flying boats and fighters become available as well. So, boo. Actually, that reminds me, the other big thing I need to do is to activate our air bases in the areas. So we need those 2 to be active so they can actually start standing up. And, oh, that's the other big thing that I need, is we need to add air units to these, because we need fighters. Okay, those are set. It'll take them a little while to actually stand up properly, but I think that is worthwhile. Okay, and what else did we have? There was... Our Asian holdings are pretty good. That was these two. Start expanding those. Okay, and now that I can see what we're dealing with, let's move right along. Okay, it was specifically Libao. Let's add some air units, specifically medium bombers. Add another one, medium bombers. Do the same thing at Riga. Medium. Medium. All right. And then what was the last one? Stavanger, or however you pronounce that. Probably horribly mangling it, but oh well. There we go. That's the one. Add medium bombers. Oh, whoops. Okay, there we go. Now all of our Northern European air bases are fully assigned, or at least as best as they're going to get for now. Suppose I should also start working on some of these other ones over here. What all Southeast Asian forts do we have? Area overview? Nope. Base overview. Let's see. We are specifically looking for, nope, Southeast Asia. And they have Malacca, Takao, Saipan, and Guam. Okay. So there's Takao. That's within reach of important things. Malacca, that's also within reach of important things. So I guess both of those need to be stood up. And also expanded. And let's see, do we have any Takao? I know I saw you. Here we go. Active and expand. Okay. So those orders are all properly issued. Let's go back to the air groups. Again, Malacca so far only has flying boats. Let's add some of the medium bombers. And then Takao could use some more medium bombers. And there we go. That ought to start standing up our air forces quite effectively. And wow, look at that budget. Oh, and that's the other thing I forgot to do. I forgot to check which ships were just laid down that were illegal. So I can deal with those after this. Alright, let's see. We have... Well, those are looking good. So, nothing from Germany. What about France? France is looking good. What about Russia? Let's see. Russian designs are looking okay. What about USA? Oh, yeah. Look at that. Mobile and... Oh, wait. Nope. Those are 9,000. That's fine. 9,000 tons is fine. 10,000 is the limit. Okay, so that's not the issue. What about Japan? Those ones are also looking okay. What about Italy? Huh. Italy is also looking okay. I wonder what the issue is then. I don't see anything wrong in here. Unless there's some destroyers outside their definitions or something. I didn't see any of those. What about here? Those are looking okay. American destroyers. Well, there's quite a bit of them. But those are all looking okay. I don't see any issues with those. What about Russia? Well, that's some pretty big destroyers, and I got bigger, so that's not an issue. What about France? They seem like the sort to build oversized destroyers. No, those are all looking okay. Huh. Well, this might be a potential issue. There's a particular variant of heavy cruiser that can be limited to 12,000 tons. So that is indeed a distinct possibility. And if that's the case, that would be very, very annoying. And we got some of these Stuttgarts coming in over 12,000 as well. So that is a possibility. It's very interesting, actually. The cruiser design that you are allowed to build. Actually, probably the best way to do it is to show you. Let's see. So if I was to design a heavy cruiser right now, so we'll just plink up a heavy cruiser design. So right now, if I was to go up to 11-inch guns, it would change this to a battle cruiser. And that's not what we want. But if we were to, let's drop this down to 12,000 tons and reduce our belt to 4 inches. It stays as a heavy cruiser. Now, granted, this particular one has some issues, and I certainly would not be building this, but this is a design that allows you to have 2 turrets up to 7 barrels total worth of 11-inch guns. So that is one way to build a pocket battleship, if that is what you want. You can build a 12,000-ton cruiser, no more than 4 inches belt, no more than 7 guns of 11 inches caliber. And if some nation is building ships of this design that are over 12,000 tons, that would certainly be causing my issues. So I will have to investigate that outside of this. For now, though, we've got about 7 more minutes to try and advance the clock and maybe kick off this war. Ooh, USA has granted independence to the Philippines. 17 destroyers commissioned. That was fast. Spy from Russia? How dare they? Oh no, our scientists are currently baffled by the problems of early SSM. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, that's another delay on construction there. Well, that higher tension has certainly cranked up our balance. Also, I think finishing all of those destroyers. Oh yeah, look at that. Whole mess of longbows just came out. And with that, I think we can start pushing up our budget. Or start putting additional ships on active. So we're going to take these fellows. We're going to active fleet those. We're going to take these Iron Dukes. We're going to activate those. Let's see, how much longer? One more turn on the battle cruisers. Good. Let's see, we already have those cruisers stood up. Now, hold on a moment. I am confused. I thought I had these Proserpines heading towards Southeast Asia. Well, best get them on their way. they don't get left behind. Okay, there we go. Off you go then. Try not to get into too much trouble. And I can probably also... Well, hang on, those guys are all reserve. Wow, those got re-equipped with radars fast. They're almost completely re-equipped already. Let's see. I think we're going to try and squeeze one more turn out. Italy wants more technology. Sounds good to me. Ooh, 6-inch dual-purpose mounting. Well, that's nice. And we still have peace. And with all those ships finished up, oh my goodness, 20,000, correction, 20 million a month. So that's not thousands, they've truncated a few zeros off of this for simplicity's sake. So yeah, over 20 million per month of budget surplus. Wow. My mind is blown. And we're going to have to do something about that. Let's do some new cruiser designs, I think. So we're going to grab that new Spartiate class, and we're going to do a complete update there, swapping out for diesels, auto-loading those guns. And let's see, what can we do to try and squeeze this all in? Don't like driving up the size of these ships too much, but we really do need a decent air capacity if these are going to be independent operating ships. And I suppose I could ditch the auto loaders, go up to the 10-inch guns again. No, that still puts us overweight, so nope, that's not going to work. Alright, back down. Oh, why am I... Oh, I know. Forgot the autoloaders. Okay, just out of curiosity, what happens if I do that? Oh. Well, that actually seems like a reasonable solution. Shave one gun barrel off, and I get to keep my autoloaders. And I get to add auto-loading 5-inch guns. That's a pretty nice little upgrade there. Still not quite enough to squeeze an extra knot out of it, but that's pretty good. Okay, well, I think we'll call that design good. And yeah, I think that's a pretty solid design. We're going in there with 11 8-inch guns. It's a pretty solid broadside there. They're auto-loaders, so they should be able to throw out quite a heavy broadside. It's not quite the 12-gun broadside that I was originally hoping for, but still. And we have weight remaining for any future upgrades we may want to do. Alright, well, let's save that. Let's start development. And we're going to begin construction on those next, probably in the next episode, because we are coming up on the 50-minute mark. So I think we're going to wrap things up here. I'm going to see you all next time. Until then, Kator87, signing out.